Thanks for tuning in to Old Ass Movie Reviews, and today we are reviewing 1974's Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter.
In the 18th century in Central Europe, a black terror swept across the face of the land. The curse of vampirism, which had been a half-forgotten memory for hundreds of years, returned with a fury that struck unholy fear into the hearts of every man, woman, and child. One man dared to make a stand against this evil epidemic. One man dared to hurl a challenge of cold steel against the terror of the undead. He was Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Okay, the next movie to review is Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. It was a Hammer film. What are you laughing for? There's nothing funny about that. It's the title of the movie.
Yeah. The title of the movie to me was humorous. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Vampire Hunter. I love a good vampire movie. And I liked what they did to this vampire movie, which was, it wasn't a typical vampire.
Right.
This is probably... You know, I'm watching this movie, and I started thinking to myself, I may have seen this movie when I was really, really young, like 8, 10 years old, on probably like Sir Graves Ghastly out of Michigan, or The Ghoul was a late night show that was on in Michigan, like one of those like old horror movie type shows. And I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm like, oh my God, this might have been the first time that I've ever seen, for lack of a better term, a psychic vampire, or one who sucked out energy rather than blood. And it was done really well. Captain Kronos took his shirt off one too many times for a guy who was a lot skinnier than me.
Yeah.
But he had a good face. I'll give you that. He had the good, blonde hair, blue eyes. And when he put the cloak on, he looked good in the cloak. So... that's probably how he got the job. Does the uniform fit? Yep. You're hired, kid. You got the job. But he, all in all, I thought did a pretty good job playing the stoic vampire hunter. And for anybody who ever watches this movie, and if you're familiar with Vampire Hunter D, to me, this may be where they got the idea for Vampire Hunter D.
I am impressed. I did not put that together until just now.
Here's the thing. Once again, I'm watching this movie with my wife, and I'm like, this movie seems really familiar. And she looked over, she goes, it's Vampire Hunter D. And I was like, holy smokes, you're right. What? Cool. And I was like, that's it. I shouted, and the dogs jumped up and looked at me. I'm like, no, that's it. That's perfect. That's what it is.
I haven't seen that in years, so I will definitely have to go return to it. But wow,
something tells me that that's maybe where they got the idea. And if anybody that's familiar with Vampire Hunter D, if you like that, you're gonna like Captain Kronos. There's enough action in it, and enough beautiful woman, and enough bad guy, to really keep you in the movie, I think. And there's enough red herrings.
Yes.
I love the red herring in this. I don't want to give too much away, because this is a movie I think people really want to go see, so I don't want to give away the ending. But
it was a surprise.
Yeah, you will see red herrings that you know are red herrings, and then the other ones you're not going to get. And you're going to be like, at the end of the movie, go, oh my God, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that, and I'm not going to spoil it. It's, it was right in your face. You should have been able to see it.
The whole time.
They showed you what... Yeah. It was right there. I'm
sorry.
No, man. Wait. No. It was right in front of your face the entire time. And you should have been able to see it. But I guess I didn't want to go there with it. And I was thinking it might have been this or that. And it's... I know that's vague as hell, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, at one point you're looking at it going, yeah, that's what it is. And then later on you're like, no, that's not what it is. it's like the red herring became the red herring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like they just kept double down and then moving it. It's
It
like
was,
what?
It was well done.
The old game with the cup. And the
Yes.
P. Where's the P? Where's the P? Where's the queen? The card game. Where's the queen? Where's the queen? That was really well done, and I liked that the character that was with Captain Kronos, his sidekick.
Yeah. I cannot think of his name, but
hold on. I have IMDb up. Let's see if it'll tell me the character's name.
Here it is. John Cater as Professor Hieronymus Grost.
John Cater. Okay.
Yeah.
See, they only have Grost here. If they would have said like the full name, I would have probably got it. But
I'm seeing on here that Horst Janssen or Johnson, however you want to pronounce it, obviously Dutch, or was dubbed. His voice was dubbed. It did not seem dubbed to me.
I am shocked. If that voice was dubbed,
that was some of the best editing ever.
Hammer did some of the best damn editing and dub work I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think that's Wikipedia.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah, you can't really, not really all that good at telling the truth on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But, George Johnson, 35. Evidently, he's still alive.
Yeah, probably most of them are.
The one thing about the doctor, his sidekick doctor, Gross, the guy he had the humpback.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, and I'd love to find an answer to this, was that the actor's choice or was that the script?
For the humpback?
For the humpback.
It's probably the script, because when I saw that, it's like, you think of Igor or Renfield or one of these kind of deformed.
They put their spin on it.
But it was weird that they chose that, and yet he wasn't a Weasley-like character. He was
Well, that's what I mean. That was the spin. They put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was wondering, if that was an actor's choice, because I can't imagine writing that script and going, hey, we'll make this super intelligent guy a hunchback. That'll throw everybody for a loop.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody did, because maybe I am that kind of a writer that would just put something odd like that in there and just go, hey, we're gonna,
It did give him a little depth as a character, and it brings a great line up from the bar when those guys are paid to insult, or basically were hired to kill them.
How do you sleep at night? On your belly or in a hammock?
Or do you dig a hole in the ground and put your hump in it?
When you go to sleep at night, do you dig a hole for your hump? I about died. That was great.
Oh, speaking of the bar, did you recognize the bartender?
No.
The bartender was Lobot from Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian's sidekick, the guy with the cyborg.
Damn.
Lobot.
There was a lot of surprises there.
Yes, there was a lot, because I was looking at him like, oh my god, and I went and started looking for his name. I was like, oh, there he is. That's who I thought it was. Because the big kid in me was like just excited to see somebody that I kind of recognized.
Right. Yeah. So it was good. It's interesting now that you've said Vampire Hunter D. I'm okay with him carrying a katana. It's like, why does he have a Japanese sword? It still doesn't make any sense, but okay, I'll go with that.
But it also makes you wonder where he's been in the world.
Exactly.
Because the first time I saw the katana, I was like, what the hell's he got a katana for? And then I was like, well, Captain Kronos, he's run away from the army, or whatever army he was supposedly belonged to. He's no longer in it, obviously. And I was like, oh, this guy's probably seen some crap that nobody ever needs to see. And then they show the big scar that's like...
almost all like he's been cut in half.
Yeah, all the way in half. I'm like, that's a guy, I don't know how the hell he lived through that. That's a hell of a scar. But that was... And it makes you wonder, like, what kind of powers
Well, that's true. That's true. Good way to put it there. Because it just threw me off. He had a rapier and a katana. It's like, they're just throwing shit out the wall to see what sticks. But, it does lend more to a well-traveled vampire hunter.
Yeah, like he's hunted some vampires. And I like how he's setting the traps to find out if it's an actual vampire or not.
Right.
The frogs was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because Kat and I were looking at each other trying to figure out what's with the frogs. And then they explain it. And I was like, oh, I've never heard that. I have to look that up and see if that's a real thing. And if it is a real thing, my thought process is people were probably digging up frogs that were hibernating and thought they were dead.
Yeah.
So how many innocent people got killed when that frog woke up? It's like, no, dude, it was hibernating. It's wintertime.
Yeah.
You woke it up.
Must have been a vampire.
It must have been a vampire. No.
It was a different, like you said earlier, it's a different take on an energy vampire, one who just sucks life force, not just blood, and was aging people. Didn't need nighttime.
No, that was the interesting thing, too.
Cross didn't mean anything. The garlic, none of that. So all of his wares to stop a vampire from attacking was pointless.
Well, I think they even say at one point, because somebody has the cross,
yes.
The guy was like, you have to have true faith for that to work.
Right.
And the one girl who had her true faith had stumbled at some point when she got nailed by the vampire.
Right. Well, they had said because she was mesmerized, she no longer could hold on to that faith because. So it's like, okay, it was cool.
Yeah, that was a good take. I enjoyed it.
Now, without giving anything away, we're talking about the toads, and the carriage passes over the toads, and there's a live one showing that there's a vampire in that carriage.
If you want to skip over the spoilers, move ahead to 1440.
Because I have to talk about this.
Right. Okay.
The mother was not in that carriage.
You're right. But here's the thing. Were the two kids coming of age to where they were going to become vampires?
Maybe so.
And not knowing that you're a vampire, if they don't realize they can suck energy out of somebody, are they just going to live their life, a normal life, and die?
Right.
But maybe their parents didn't teach them, this is what kind of vampire you are.
It could be. It just really...
That's how I take the ending of that. Because that one girl was like talking about wanting to live forever and being beautiful and blah, blah, blah. And that's how I think the mom was going to suck her in.
Yeah.
But they never had that conversation because Vampire Hunter D, Captain Kronos, shows up and stops it.
Yes. Okay. Because that threw me off. It's like, wait a minute. They might be vampires.
Because they talk about the family...
Never aging.
Lineage-wise, right. So that's the only thing I can come up with.
And they said, well, it's not our mom because she was married into this family. Well, it turns out her family, of course.
Yeah, her family was also vampires. So the two got together, had vampire kids.
Who may not know it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to edit all this out. To me, that was the biggest red herring right there because I was like, is it the daughter? Is it the son? And the mom's like right there in the damn bed. And it should have been so obvious. Well,
it is at one point because you're sitting there looking at it going, it's got to be the mom. And you're like, maybe not because she's not moving.
No. She's just ringing the damn bell.
Yeah, stop ringing the bell, Mom. Lurch, go take care of that.
Yeah.
But no, I see what you mean. And the only thing I can come up with is that the kids are vampires and don't know it.
Yeah,
and that's why Captain Kronos doesn't kill them. Because they've never been told.
Right.
And if you're not told that, it's like, if you're not told you know how to fly, like Superman, you're never going to try. Unless you're a little kid. And you know how little kids always run and do the jump?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're flying as a little kid. That's one thing. But if you've never done that, if you've never tied a towel around your neck and jumped off your mom's bed and went, hey, I'm flying, how are you going to know?
End of spoilers.
I give this...
Well, you guys just missed a really good conversation.
Yeah.
It spoiled the entire movie for you if this doesn't get edited out.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I would hesitate to spoil just because it caught me off guard. I was kicking myself because it was like right there in my face the whole time.
And I love Hammer films. And if you've never seen a Hammer film and you're a horror buff, I can't wrap my head around that because I'm not a horror buff, but I love a good Hammer film. Mm-hmm. And most of them are really good. And I usually enjoy the Hammer film. This is one, like I said, I think maybe I saw when I was a real little kid.
Yeah.
Because part of it was, I remember pieces of it, but all in all, it was a good movie.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was different. Not exactly what I was expecting, and it was a neat take on the vampire tale. I definitely give it a watch. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you like classic horror, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. The guy who played Horst Johnson was really good in the part. If he was overdubbed, it was the world's most amazing dub job I've ever.
I think Wikipedia is full of shit because that was too perfect.
Yeah, that would need another source than Wikipedia,
of course,
who says the Earth is flat. So, no, Scott, the Earth isn't flat. Damn. It's not right on the back. It's not writing on the back of 4 giant elephants on the back of a turtle. It's not.
A space whale?
Possibly a space whale.
I had to make a Who reference. All right. Yeah, I definitely give it a watch, and that was I don't know what else to say on it.
Thanks again for checking us out. If you want to see a video format of this, you can find us on YouTube under Old Ass Movie Reviews. We have a Facebook page, OAMR, also in podcast format on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Deezer, and many others. Catch you next week.